Hey, what's up guys? This is Bryce Van Hoosen and we are back for another episode of The Living Shred at Honest Amp Sim Reviews. This is my monthly column where I go over various tips and tricks for playing guitar. This month we have my second solo section from the Silver Talon track, Speed of the Night. Let's check it out. Alright, so, right off the bat, I am tuned down get this stupid fret wrap thing off. I'm tuned down a full step, so we're down in D standard here. D, G, C, F, A, D. Alright, cool. The whole track is down a full step. So, I got tabs in the description below, or they're linked on the page if you're checking this out on the Honest Amp Sims Reviews site. First off, we are starting out in the key of D, which is a real easy one to play in for guitar players. So it'd just be like E standard on a normal guitar. So the first lick, we're gonna slide kind of randomly on the high E string here. So basically now I'm going to, since we've already established that we're tuned down a full step, I'm going to refer to all of these like we're in standard tuning. I think that's something a lot of guitar players do. We just kind of refer to that as sort of a concert pitch. So on the high E string, we're going to slide all the way up here to the 19th fret. Do a bit of tremolo picking on that, and then finish it off with kind of some raked into bends with some vibrato. Very kind of Yngwie-esque. The next lick here is, since we're already on the 19th fret with our ring finger, we're going to do pinky. It's a very kind of Paul Gilbert, Yngwie sort of thing as well. So we're going to start off ring finger 19, pinky on the 20th fret, pull off to 19, then 17th fret. So that starts off. And then we do on the B string 20, 19, 17. So far. Alright, and then from there we shift our first finger up to the 15th fret, and we do basically 15, 17, 19. Just up and back. So all together so far. And then you're going to keep doing that through all sort of 3 octaves that we have here. So the next set of strings here that we're doing this on, starting on the G string, pinky finger on the 17th fret, alright, ring finger on the 16th fret, first finger on the 14th, and then again, same shape on the D string, alright, so 17, 16, 14, slide with your first finger to the 12th fret, and then kind of do that little walk up again, so 12, 14, 16, and then back down. And then on the A string, pinky on the 15th fret, 14, first finger on the 12th fret, again on the low E string, 15, 14, 12. Slide our first finger down to 10. And so I do a little walk up. And end with my middle finger on the 12th fret. So all together, what we have so far. And then, you know, get very kind of dig in with the palm muting there on that last little bit. So get kind of some real nice staccato notes. The way that I pick this is I kind of do sort of a weird economy thing where I will sort of shift my picking hand up. So I have primarily, I think, kind of an upward sort of pick slant. So I'm usually starting all of those string changes with an upstroke until we get to that 12th fret there on the A string. That's a downstroke. And to facilitate that, I have my hand kind of... That's how I do it. Your mileage may vary. Do what feels comfortable to you, because we're obviously going to play the best if we are just the most relaxed and comfortable that we can be. So next up, we're ending here with our middle finger on the 12th fret of the A string. Then I sort of pull off and kind of slide at the same time. Shifting positions here, so that my first finger is on the 7th fret of the A string. And then we're going to kind of walk up this. It's kind of an arpeggio with just kind of a minor triad in sort of this root position here. So D or E, depending on how you want to look at it. So it starts off with first finger, 7th fret. Then on the D string, with the ring finger, 9th fret. Pinky comes to the 10th fret on the A string. And then here's where it gets kind of tricky. Pinky on the 10th fret of the A string, and then we skip strings and we hit the 9th fret on the G string. So far we have. Okay. Then this is where it gets kind of weird, because I shift up and I grab this 9 on the D string with my middle finger, right? So instead of having to do some sort of barring kind of thing like that, I just do. And that frees me up to kind of move my hand the way that I need to. Because the next one that we have is we're going to grab this 8th fret here on the B string. Okay. The first finger, and then middle finger comes down to 9 again, and then first finger to 7 on the high E string. Okay, and the way that I usually pick that is I kind of do like an outside sort of string skipping thing, but we're ending. It's kind of economy for the last part because it's a downstroke. And that'll set us up for the next lick, which is we're doing a series of just kind of minor and major arpeggio triads here. So the first one is, so that would be a G major arpeggio. All right, so we just ended this little E minor arpeggio walk up. Then this. Okay, so what we're doing is we have our first finger ending from the previous lick on the 7th fret. Pinky comes to 10, pull off, ring finger onto the 8th frets of the B string, first finger on the 7th fret of the G string, and then just back up. Okay, alright, then we're going to slide up to the 15th fret, so that's... And then we're going to do another this is a C major arpeggio. Okay, so same shape as before, right? Pinky on 10th fret, slides up to 15, pull off to 12. Middle finger on the B string, we hit 13. First finger on the G string, we hit 12. Ring finger on the D string, and we hit 14. Pinky on the 15th fret of the A string, and then back up. Okay? So we're ending with our pinky on the 15th fret, and slide up here. We're just doing a good old-fashioned E minor arpeggio sweep pattern here. And so that is from the previous arpeggio, pinky on the 15th fret, slides up to 19, pull off to 15, middle finger on 17 on the B string, first finger on 16 on the G string, and then 17 on the D string, and then 19 on the A string, and then pull off to your first finger to 14 on the A string. So altogether that is basically so from there we do kind of this thing that I stole from Jeff Loomis, where we tap on the high 24th fret, pull off, okay, to 19, and then we slide up from 19 to the 24th fret. So altogether that's like that sort of thing. That kind of idea. So altogether that's basically like So we're ending pinky on the 19th fret of the A string and sliding out there. So you'll notice during that particular pattern, I'm kind of going up and down. Kind of like that. Make sure that you do that. All of those notes are the same. It's just sometimes when we do these 5-string shapes, it's really easy just to kind of throw in another 3-string shape in there. In fact, the last 2 arpeggios that I do, the C major and the E minor arpeggio, do that, so. So the next lick is we shifted to A. So we were in D and now we're in A. We got a bit of a key shift here. So now, since we ended that in that nice little box there, we're kind of coming back and we're going to be in the sort of, 7th position natural minor / 1st position A pentatonic. So we do a nice bend on the 20th fret here. Then we're just kind of walking down the A minor pentatonic. Right? So that's 20, pull off, 17. 20 on the B string, pull off 17, then 19 on the G string, and give it kind of a little bit of vibrato there. And then, so the next part, we put in these sort of Andy LaRocque little flutter kind of pieces. Whew. That can be hard to keep quiet, so that's why I like to use this fret wrap here for some of these, because literally you're just hitting the bar and the strings are just kind of doing their thing, and that's what you sort of want for that effect. So it's totally permissible to use a couple extra tools to kind of keep that quiet. Live, I of course don't use this, and I really just don't care if it makes some extra noise, because whatever, it's live. So the way that we're doing that is it's just 3 notes on the G string here, and so it's 17, 19, okay, back to 17, and then 14, 17, 14. Right, but we're gonna hit the whammy bar as we go into each one of those, so it's right? Cool, and it gives kind of a little bit of a sort of video game sound, kind of weird, crazy, fluttery kind of thing. That's definitely something that's kind of a feel sort of thing, so you're gonna want to try to play around with that and make it sound right. Use your ear. Alright, so next up we get into this harmonized sequence. And this is, again, we're still in that same first A minor pentatonic box shape. So, going back up to the high E string. Okay, start on 20. Pull off to 17. And then middle finger on the B string on 18 here. Okay, so we have those 3 notes first. And then we go to middle finger on the 19th fret of the high E string. Pull off to 17, so all together. Then back to middle finger on the 18th fret. Okay, and then this is where we sort of change it up a little bit, and we do first finger on 17. And then middle finger on 18. Pull back off to 17. Okay, and you'll notice that that is also harmonized on the recording. So I just basically took, so that's basically the shape that we're in. So if I want a third, I just take that, which is the 7th box of the A minor scale, the Aeolian scale, and move it up to 2. So basically that's the way that you make these third harmonies, is you take whatever box you're in. So I'm in 7. The next box is 1. I don't want that. That would be a second. Sounds terrible. The next box is 2. So that would be a third separated from where I'm at already. So we just do the same thing in the second box here. You can already hear that it sounds much happier than the other one. So we're on 24. Okay, pull off to 20. Middle finger on 22nd. 22nd on the B string. Then we kind of do another little bar thing down here. So I just kind of roll my middle finger down to the 22nd fret of the high E string. So all together, so far. Okay. Pull off to the 20th fret. Okay, and then middle finger again back on 22 on the B string. And then pull off to 20. We do that kind of thing. So. Alright, and that makes a, nice little third harmony with. The other thing is you kind of want to put a little bit of emphasis on these notes. So I usually do kind of a some Reiki sort of stuff in there. You always kind of want to make sure that with these simple sort of things, you're putting as much feel and thought into playing them rather than just which can be fine, but I think we can do better than that. Some vibrato, a little bit of bending, that sort of thing. So make sure that whatever you're doing on the main one, you're also doing on the harmony. So try to match the vibrato, the bending, the rakes, all that kind of stuff, otherwise it sounds a little bit off. The next one that we are doing here is we're going to kind of sweep through some of these inversions of the A minor arpeggio, the 3-note per string. It was a very Yngwie thing, but this is kind of a bit of a sort of an Alexei Liahope sort of thing, where he does, where you're basically just, you're not going back up with it, you're only going down. That kind of thing. And so, the way that this starts is we start with pinky finger on the 17th fret of the high E string, pull off the 12, middle finger on 13 on the B string, and then ring finger on 14 of the G string. Okay, that's just standard. Everybody should probably know that at this point. Right, so we do that, and then we go into the next one. And the hardest part about this is doing those little jumps in between everything. Okay? Jump to pinky finger on the 12th fret of the high E string. Pull off to, that is 8. Middle finger on 10 on the B string. First finger on 9 on the G string. So far we have it. Okay, last one. This is probably the most difficult and hardest to keep sounding clean. As if they all weren't kind of hard enough already. We do pinky finger on 8, pull off to 5, and then you're going to kind of want to roll your finger with these ones and make sort of this bar kind of shape. If you ever played drop D, you know that you play a power chord with just one finger. It's kind of what you're doing here, but instead of holding it all down, you want to... So you can just practice doing that. That's good. Practice for that. 5th fret. Pull off. Pinky. 5th fret. Roll. Okay? So far we have... And then you're going to want to move back up to the second shape. And And then I usually kind of slide in from the 12th fret to that last one. Alright, so now we're getting into the last part, which is the explosive finale of some kind of diminished sounding tapped arpeggios. And this is probably the hardest part, but the good thing is you can kind of screw up and it still sounds right. And it still just sounds kind of like crazy and cool. Probably screwed this one up live and on the recording the most. The tricky part about this is that you're going to shift up by a minor third every time you're going down or up with it. Real quick breakdown of how this works is basically we do first finger on the 4th fret, ring finger on the 7th fret, we're going to tap on the 10th fret of the G string. Same thing on the high A string. Okay. And then you're going to want to pull off to your first finger. So far we have. And then, as you're on your first finger, you need to kind of come down here and move up sort of 2 minor thirds to the 13th fret. And then you're also shifting up your first finger here so that you're ready to pull off to the 10th fret and then the 7th fret with your first finger. And then again, we do the same thing on the G string. So, 13 tap, pull off 10, pull off to your first finger on the 7th fret. So far we have. And then we go back up. So once you get down to your first finger on the 7th fret, tap back up. And then we're going to kind of come up here to the 1st fret and we do. Right? So same pattern, all minor thirds in between. 1, 4, tap on 7, and then on the high A string, 1, 4, tap on 7. Right? So we go, pull off, first finger comes back to 10, and we're back in that same first shape that we were in. Okay, so all together it's. So we're going kind of an entire octave here, so you can see how sort of jumping around is kind of the most difficult parts about this. So. Alright, so then after we do that, right, so we end, so we go up on 10th fret, pull off, our first finger is already here on the 7th fret, and then we do, okay, 7, 10, tap on 13, again on the high A string, 7, 10, tap on 13, and then you go up, back down, pull off, and then again we're doing another minor third jump to our first finger being on the 16th fret. Okay, 16th fret, pull off, 13, pull off 10, 16 on the G string, pull off 13, pull off 10. So this is where it gets kind of interesting because we shift up after every iteration of going back and forth with this. So this shape. So instead of going back up and tapping, we're going to go slide with our first finger up to the 13th fret, hammer on to the 16th fret. So that'll set us up to do, right, kind of just bar. First finger comes back down to the 19th fret, pull off to the 16th fret, pull off to 13. Alright, same thing on the G string. First finger on 17, pull off to the 16th fret, pull off to the 13th fret, slide up with our first finger to the 16th fret, hammer on 19, right? And then after that, last shape here, first finger, okay, 22nd fret, we're going to tap immediately, pull off to the 19th fret, 16th fret, 22, 19, 16, and then I tap up there. And then after we do that, there's not really anywhere for us to go, so we're just gonna tap on the last one again. So on the G string, that is 16, 19, tap 22, and then free up our hand here to move to a new position. Then from there, we are finishing it off with a nice little kind of slow, sweep-picked 6-string arpeggio. Alright, like that. So this is 17, pinky comes down onto 20, and then we're going to bar with our ring finger on these 19th frets here, on the A string, D string. And then I usually kind of try to do something like that, where we're putting in this extra 16th fret here on the G string, sliding into 17. So far. Okay. Then barring again down, 17 on the B string, 17 on the high E string. So far we have, oops. Okay, and then just doing a little 3-note per string walk up here on the high A string. So that's 17, 19, 20, and then back down. Then a nice little bend and some vibrato on the 20th fret on the A, or on the B string. I'll throw in a little bit of whammy bar vibrato as well, and then sort of sliding out. Alright, so that was a lot. Let me know if you have any questions about that in the comments. I know I probably went over some of that stuff a little bit fast. This is kind of my second or third lesson video, so still sort of working out the kinks for me. If you have any questions or want to see me go slower or something like that, or have any particular concerns, sometimes, you know, when you do stuff fast, you kind of develop a way to sort of achieve it, and when you're slowing it down, it's kind of like, well, I don't exactly remember how I was actually doing it fast, but slowing down it was supposed to be this. So this is more or less supposed to be what it's like. If it's not, which there was an instance of that I think on one of my other earlier videos, you know, definitely let me know. I'm looking to you guys to keep me honest. So, alright, thanks. Let's reconvene next month with another lesson from me, Bryce Van Hoosen, on the Living Shred.